Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching, my links are down below. I have an astral projection course down below. I have a Patreon down below. The Patreon, I already explained some of this shit to Patreon a little bit ago, and Patreon seeing this video before YouTube is. So go check out the Patreon down below. I have a Discord down below. Social media is down below. Everything's down below. Go check me out. Shout out to the vegan pizza inside the back. You know what I'm saying? It was delicious. But we have a video about the Anunnaki. Drop a like real quick because I'm going to share some stuff that you may have never heard anywhere else. Because I really be diving into the records. Like, granted, I could really just tap into my own past lives to find out this information, which I did do. I tapped into my own past lives to find this shit out, but then I even took the extra step to go to the Omniversal Hall of Records. And when I went to the Omniversal Hall of Records, I pretty much pulled up the records for the Anunnaki, and it's like when I got the records, I kind of like relived their whole entire story. And yeah, if you guys want to astral project how I do, I have a course down below, so you could literally go to the You could go to the records your damn self. You know what I'm saying, to find this shit out for your damn self. You know what I'm saying? But this shit is gonna be all facts. So drop a like real quick, and let's get into this video. So I'm gonna mention who the Anunnaki are, where they come from, their basic history, their gifts and abilities, their struggles, and also the different starseed traits that Anunnaki starseed may have. So let's start at the beginning, right? Who are they? Where do they come from? The Anunnaki are a group of ETs who actually originate from Sirius. Now, they essentially come from beings who got mixed with antimatter. And currently, right now, they're meant to be guardians of the galaxy who pretty much help to upkeep the structure of reality. Now, not every single Anunnaki does this, but that's like their main role as a whole entire group in a collective. And I'm going to get into why that is. Now, motherfuckers be talking about Nibiru and all that other shit, bro. Nigga, I actually have the fucking Enuma Elish on my. I have the fucking Enuma Elish on my phone, right? And inside the Enuma Elish, you'll find out what Nibiru really is. Nibiru was never a fucking planet. Nibiru was just a fucking name for either Enlil or Enki. I forgot which one they're talking about inside here. But anyway, it says right here, right? Let me pull up the fucking Nibiru bar, right? Cause bro, Nibiru. You know what I'm saying? It says right here, let his name be Nibiru, the Caesar of the Mist. Nigga, Nibiru is fucking a title that means the Caesar of the Mist. It does. Nibiru's not a fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of shit that y'all think is so fucking real is not fucking real. The Holy Tablets by motherfucking Malachi Z. York. If y'all niggas read that shit, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that shit is just what the fuck he thought for himself. Now I'm sure there's probably some accurate information inside there, but not everything's accurate. So let me give you guys the actual fucking sauce about their history and how they even came to be. So this started off kind of at the beginning of the Orion Wars. And it started in Sirius when you had pretty much different Syrians who were experimenting with anti ether and they added it to their forms. Now, understand this, right? You already had Andromedans and Arcturians who were already kind of doing these experiments, and then the Syrians started doing it also. Now, people talk about the Anunnaki being nine ether beings. Technically, they're not. You know what I'm saying? Now you have the Inataka, right? These are actual God beings, right? A God being, any being that is able to. A God is an eternal being that is also able to manipulate the different dimensions of reality. Dimensions being length, width, height, time, space, light. These are actual gods, right? And the anti ether which Syrians added to their genes was seen as a gift from the Inataka, who are non-ether beings, because the Inataka are kind of the beings that helped other beings to discover the anti-ether, because technically Arcturians and Andromedans are actually part of their pantheon, because these god beings are like from 9D through 7D, and they kind of go into the creation of certain ETs, right? Um I mentioned the Inataka on my Patreon. I already mentioned them. I actually mentioned how the Anunnaki were made on Patreon already, but I want to make this video for the YouTube, but Patreon's still gonna see this motherfucker early before YouTube sees it. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to show y'all real quick how. See, I learned about the Inataka inside the Astra one day. Hold up, let me pull it up for y'all real quick. All right, boom. So if y'all peep game right here, right? I have this Inataka vid. This is just a whole hour. You know what I'm saying? I talk about the Inataka inside here. I talk about some of that shit inside. This is the crazy story of Anunnaki and stuff like that. I talk about this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this video I talk a lot about the Inataka and how they kind of made the Anunnaki and Lyra Elohi. But I'm gonna mention it. I'm gonna mention the Anunnaki shit here. So yeah, Syrians were experimenting with anti-ether. So you have regular ether, right? Ether is pretty much a substance that allows light to propagate throughout space and then eventually turn into physical matter. So with ether, right? Ether kind of helps light to like move through space. Now anti-ether sucks in light. You know what I'm saying? So when they were playing with anti-ether, it's like you have ether all around you, and they kind of inverted the ether around them to make anti-ether. Anti-ether sucks in light. Now from anti-ether you can make anti-plasma. Now plasma is like condensed light. To make that condensed light, the light has to move through ether first. Once it moves through the ether, it can become a plasma. You know what I'm saying? So with anti-ether, when anti-ether sucks in light, it can become a plasma. So you had this anti-ether and anti-plasma getting added to these different Syrian beings, right? And they were doing this because they were already going through conflict inside of their star, you know what I'm saying, inside the star system. So they thought that they could add this anti-ether to their genes and then essentially make themselves become weapons. Now, this part of the story does not really get talked about as much. The part that gets talked about is towards the end with the whole entire refugee shit, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. But we got to first start off with the origins with this whole antimatter shit right now. Now, with this whole antimatter shit, at this point, they weren't really like Anunnaki how they are now. Like, they didn't even always have the fucking dreadlocks. Like, the base form of them would deadass just look like a fucking all black plasmic being. Like when I was one of these beings, bro, I was like all black with like a white stripe, and it's like I didn't even really have a mouth. I just had eyes. I could like open my mouth, but if I didn't open my if I didn't open my mouth, you wouldn't really see your mouth. Like imagine a shadow being that's super condensed and plasma like. That's what they kind of look like. They kind of look like plasmic shadow beings, low key. You know what I'm saying? Now they can actually shapeshift inside this form. They could like suck in other people and then shapeshift into that person. You know what I'm saying? So once the Syrians added this antimatter to their genes, they became very destructive and got kicked out. One reason why is because the consciousness of anti-ether is literally like this consuming, like anti-ether sucks in light. So that consciousness is very like controlling and dominating, and it can be very destructive. So they kind of naturally became destructive, sucking in other people and stuff like that. Like people, like there was various ways you could use these different antimatter genes. You know what I'm saying? If you could change your anti-plasma to a state of anti-ether, you could dead as fucking make black holes with your own fucking hand. Like it was the craziest shit ever, bro. So like it got very destructive, and they got kicked out of Sirius. Now once this happened, this is what started. It's like there's like this Anunnaki takeover on Orion, but this is before they were fully Anunnaki, right? But they had this takeover in Orion, right? Now, when this happened, they got to Orion and they started like pretty much taking shit over. And at some point, they actually mixed with the reptilians, which is the beginning of the motherfucking Anunnaki reptilian empire. Now, this is where also reptilians gain the ability to shapeshift, because some of them do it with technology and stuff like that, but other reptilians simply just have antimatter genes. They could literally shift their form with these genes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you guys ever seen black, like there's actually antimatter reptiles that actually appear as black. Now, a lot of them would just appear as a regular reptilian. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the time, they wouldn't appear. I mean, some of them would. I mean, actually, let me rephrase that. So, like, you did have big ass groups that would appear as black reptilians, but all in all, they like to look like regular reptilians because at that point you wouldn't really know what the fuck they were capable of. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, they mixed with reptilians and started building that whole entire empire. But then at some point, a dragon from Draco had came to Orion and pretty much enslaved these beings and was kind of using them as a food source, and the dragon also would like to eat the beings in order to take their antimatter powers, right? Now at some point that dragon died, you know what I'm saying? Now when that dragon died, there was a new leader, and essentially they kept on mixing with other beings. Like they would mix with insectoids. There was like some beings on Mintaka that had this like crazy scouting ability. It's like these beings in Mintaka would like they would like know about like different planets, the abilities of the different beings on that planet. They were like the top scouters. And it's like with when you had their genes, you could scout out planets really well. And they wanted those genes because if they had those genes, they could easily scout out other planets and find out what life is there and if they could mix with them or take them over or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So they kept on doing that mixing shit. And there's like different wars that started like between like different Orions and Pleiadians and all this other shit and stuff like that. But at some point they started going to serious, mainly because it was like, yo, you motherfuckers kicked us out. But now, bitch, we lit as shit. Like, and they were pretty lit at this period of time. Like, these motherfuckers was like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was kind of like, they're like, nigga, we're going to take our fucking home back. And after all this, bro, it was like a whole entire motherfucking like hoopla. So at some point, the Andromedans got called in to help. Now the leader of these antimatter reptilian Anunnaki beings, the leader of these beings is the one who called the Andromedans due to the fact that they didn't even want those beings to go to Sirius. You see, that person's whole entire plan was just to make a super race of beings to go to Draco and take over Draco for their own personal agenda, right? But while trying to serve their own agenda, it kind of started to like affect other people that they didn't want to affect. So it's like the king of them who the king is the person who killed the dragon and then like kind of freed them. That is the same person who called the Andromedans over, and then this whole entire plan was made to pretty much mix those like the beings, like those antimatter, Anunnaki, reptilian, whatever the fucks that were mixed with a whole bunch of other shit like insectoid and mentakin and whatever else they fucking, because these motherfuckers would just go to different planets and suck you the fuck in. You know what I'm saying? By this time they had fucking. This is why Anunnaki have so many fucking genes, because off the rip they was just mixing with motherfuckers, bro. You know what I'm saying? But when the Andromedans got called, there was a whole entire plan to make this new royal class that was the Anunnaki, right? And this royal class of beings would have five main classes with inside of their motherfucking like system. So you had the more so like what happened was, right, like different beings came together. Like you had the Andromedans coming together, the Altorians, Pleiadians, Reptilians, and stuff like that, and they all decided to mix their genes with these already mixed gene beings, these antimatter, reptilian, Anunnaki, whatever the fucks, right? So you had like the more Syrian based ones, right? These ones became the healers. You had the more Arcturian based ones. These ones became the scientists. You had the more Pleiadian based ones. These ones became the light workers. Now the light workers would kind of like go around and they would pretty much help other places. They would help other places to become less dense and more light. So it's like the Syrian healers were like healing actual people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they could heal lands also, but it's like with the light workers, they're like raising the vibration of shit. You know what I'm saying? So the Syrian healers help to heal people. The Pleiadian light workers help to raise the vibration in different places, right? The more reptilian based ones were warriors, and the more Andromedan based ones were teachers. Now the Andromedan ones could also like be scientists sometimes, and the Arcturian ones could also be teachers sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But that's how like the classes got made. And at this point, this is when they started looking like the whole black man with dreads and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now they don't all look like that. Like the Palladian ones, right, are actually like white skinned oftentimes. Like that's why you may see certain white skinned Palladians. I mean, that's why you may see certain white skinned Anunnaki and stuff like that. Like even with hold up, Anunnaki gods. Let me see some shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like Let me get it. Like this, these beings right here, right? Oh, by the way, Enki and Enlil are not actual beings. You know what I'm saying? They just like oh my god, I shouldn't have to fucking explain this shit. When you see these like okay, let me just explain this, bro. You see how these motherfuckers have like kind of like this like curly hair with these curly beards and shit like that. These were like the more Palladian based Anunnaki. You know what I'm saying? They would either be like brown skinned with blue eyes or like white skinned and stuff like that. That's why their hair is like curly, but it's like wavy also because they have the genes of because Palladians look like white people Anunnaki look like black people. You know what I'm saying? When you mix that super duper dreaded hair with that super duper straight hair, it becomes that wavy curly shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like on Earth. When a black person and white person have a baby, the child tends to have loose curls, just like these beings right here. These are the Palladian based Anunnaki. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of did look like this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They definitely did. But when it comes to the religion, right? When you see these different, I already actually nigga fuck that. I don't fucking explain nigga on my YouTube, right? I literally explain the origins of different deity worship systems. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, bro, go to my motherfucking YouTube, right? And I'm gonna show y'all a fucking video to motherfucking watch because deity worship systems were made for a certain reason. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, these weren't like Enlil and Inky are not actual beings, my nigga. Okay, they're not. So watch this video right the fuck here. You know what I'm saying? Watch this shit right the fuck here. It's called the extraterrestrial origins of deity worship systems. This is the thumbnail right here. Enlil and Inky have several different like one of them like hold on, let me see. Enki, god of what? What the fuck was he the god of? The god of wisdom, fresh water. He was literally a personalized symbol for water, essentially. You know what I'm saying? He was a personalized symbol for wisdom. So, literally, because wisdom is not like an actual person. So, when you personify wisdom, it helps you to understand wisdom more. That's why they would personify these different aspects of life. When you personify water, you get to understand the personality of water. So let me find out which Anunnaki god wanted humans. Cause let me see something else real quick too. Enki. Okay, so if you ever got told that like you're the child of Enki or that like you are Enki or like some shit like that, all that really means is that you are a part of the Anunnaki pantheon, or you are a part of the Anunnaki race that actually wanted humans to live and be created. Like the if you get told that you're alive with Enki, that's the one that liked humans. If you get told that you're like from the Enlil side, it means that you didn't like humans. So Enlil and Enki also represent different. It represents the different sides of the Anunnaki, the ones who wanted humans, the ones who didn't, right? And when they became this royal race, right, they kind of became this guardian race who would now protect the universe and help to keep the structure of reality. You know what I'm saying? On like a more like physical through astral level. Because when it comes to the Inataka, these are the god beings that actually help to make reality. So the Inataka, they help to make timelines, they help to make realities. They can craft out galaxies and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? Because you have like supreme gods, celestial gods. These motherfuckers literally build whole realities and realms and galaxies and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the Anunnaki would be like the protectors of these places. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, but they're not. But they're not the like Anunnaki are not non-ether beings though. They're actually anti-ether, antimatter beings. Now at this point, when they got their genes mixed and stuff like that with this whole Andromeda and shit, the genes became way more plasmic based. So at this point, not many of them were able to suck in other beings anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, the genes became more plasmic and less etheric. Like when it's like anti-ether, it's able to suck in light. But it's like as it sucks in more light, it becomes kind of plasmic, and it can become like a dense plasma where like it cannot become etheric anymore than suck in other beings. So that is a thing that happened also. Like once they decided to like merge with these beings and then add different genes to make them this whole new royal race and stuff like that, they got the whole dreadlock shit, and this is when this is when the deity system got made. Also, because since Anunnaki are protectors of pretty much the cosmos, they had to make different deities, which were symbolic images of different forces inside the cosmos. You know what I'm saying? And different Anunnaki would align with different deities, aka align with different forces of the cosmos. You see what I'm saying? So here's certain gifts and abilities that Anunnaki have. They have a very strong ability to command other people. They are really good at frequency manipulation. So this deals in many aspects. Number one, they can manipulate their own frequency very well. So like they kind of like are like they're like masters of their emotions because they can easily just control their emotion, right? You know what I'm saying? They could also manipulate the frequencies around them and frequencies that come inside of their body. So sound is very important to them, and manipulating frequencies is a very big thing for them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, I mentioned this already. Some of them are able to suck in other beings and able to suck in and absorb light. You see what I'm saying? They're also able to mix with other genes very well. You know what I'm saying? That's why Anunnaki were polygamous, because with them it was about mixing different genes and making the most powerful offspring. It wasn't just about I have a lot of pussy, I have a lot of dick. It's just about nigga with all these different beings, you can mix your genes in so many ways and make powerful ass babies. You see what I'm saying? Some of them have the ability to become formless and shapeshift. They're also very telepathic and they're good at telekinesis. They're also very strong mentally and physically, and they're pretty confident in themselves. Now, here's some struggles that they have. Some struggles is ego and pride. A lot of them kind of get attached to their character of I'm a royal, da da da, I'm a god. And the thing is, they're not even technically gods, but they kind of call themselves gods because they are aligned with higher god beings. But they're not gods because they're not eternal, and most of them can't really manipulate different dimensions like that. You know what I'm saying? Except for maybe like sound sometimes. I mean, some of them could like manipulate time in some ways, but you have to get like pretty fucking high up. And it wouldn't even be really manipulating time by themselves. It'll be more like having devices to travel through time and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they could also be sometimes like lazy, and by lazy, here's what I mean: like, because they could be hardworking, but they don't always like to do certain tedious work because they're used to having other people work for them. You know what I'm saying? They could also become very controlling. You know what I'm saying? They could be very controlling and want shit done their way, and like with Arcturians, they want shit done their way, but they're not as controlling. Like a fucking Anunnaki might try to force you to do some shit. Arcturians are more like, we need shit done like this. If you don't want to do that, nigga, that's cool. I'm a dip. You know what I'm saying? With Anunnaki, it's like, bitch, you're gonna do this shit like this. You better fucking do that shit, nigga. Not all Anunnaki are like that, but some of them can kind of get like that, where they're like very controlling and they want to like force you to do shit. You know what I'm saying? They could also be kind of chaotic sometimes due to the fact that they have like these they have these antimatter genes, and it's like it could be chaotic sometimes, where like they kind of desire to like either like take over some shit, or just like they're not fully like stable and balanced. They're kind of like always trying to like destroy some shit sometime. You know what I'm saying? So there's that aspect too. Um, and now here's some starseed traits. Being mentally strong, because I would say physically, but there are like I know Anunnaki are not physically strong, but like they're like mentally strong. You know what I'm saying? Being a natural leader, but in the sense of, like you're like a natural commander, because like some leaders, right, are leaders where like people just follow their lead, even if they don't tell them to. Like it's like Anunnaki could be role models, but it's not. When I say a natural leader, I mean more like they could just command, like nigga, do this, do that. Okay, and they could be good at being a commander. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like they're like, but they're not like Lyrans, because Lyrans are more like mentors and role models. Where it's like Lyrans kind of just shine so bright that motherfuckers want to follow them. You know what I'm saying? Now Lyrans could give good commands also, but with the Anunnaki, it's more about that. I could command you very well, and I could tell you what to do very well, and that's why you follow me. It's not even always about them being a good role model. You know what I'm saying? Another star seed trait is kind of feeling like royalty and stuff like that. Like you could have never ever been a king or a queen, but you'll just feel like that due to the fact that Anunnaki kind of were like a royal race, and by a royal race, this just meant that they had some rule over the people. This is because they're meant to guard and protect the people. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of like defended them and kind of took care of them, and in a sense, kind of ruled over different people. But it wasn't really like because they would command other people, but it was more about you're protecting them and they're under your rule because you're protecting them type shit. You know what I'm saying? Some are also like naturally confident, you know. Now I know some very shy ass Anunnaki, you know what I'm saying? Some of those sometimes these were the Anunnaki because I know some Anunnaki who got bullied by their Anunnaki peers, and inside this life they're very shy. But there's other Anunnaki who come inside this life very confident. You know what I'm saying? Because of the role that they kind of held inside the past lives. Also being drawn to music, especially rap music. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how like black niggas love hip hop. That's Anunnaki shit. Like all that partying at the club and shit. They was having parties in Sirius, bro. Like there's like these motherfucking purple beings with fucking yellow eyes, bro. They was partying, bro. Like they was fucking DJs and shit. They was fucking turning on the craziest frequencies. And my fault. I had dropped some cards and shit. I gotta pick up these cards, but yeah, they be fucking bumping the craziest frequencies, bro. And the Anunnaki love that shit because they feel frequency all throughout their body and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the way that they use music. It's like this, like the frequency that they feel can literally alter their state of consciousness and their state of being. It could also alter their state of manifestation and like their state of matter. So like if you vibrate an Anunnaki a certain type of way, they could stop being physical and become purely etheric or become purely plasmic or just become like a fucking ghost based upon how their body's vibrating. You know what I'm saying? So they're very drawn to they're very drawn to music and frequencies, and then also kind of having like a natural control over their emotions and or their thoughts. So like, and sometimes it's not even always a control over it. Well, let me rephrase, right? It's like they could choose to feel what they want to feel very easily because once again frequency manipulation. If they want to feel some shit, they just vibrate to that frequency. It's like, oh, I want to feel happy, I'm gonna just vibrate like a happy nigga. Like they could just do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So these are some like starseed traits that different Anunnaki star seeds may have. A lot of Syrian beings have this too, especially the water beings. They have these frequency abilities too in the whole entire music shit and stuff like that. So if you like are a Syrian water being, you may feel that energy also. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, these are the real origins of Anunnaki. You know what I'm saying? It's like where they really come from, how they were really made. You know what I'm saying? It's just that real shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's pretty much it for this video. You know what I'm saying? I would mention the whole entire how they made Earth and shit like that, but I already not how they made Earth, but like the different beings on Earth. But I already did that for Patreon, bro. Hold up, I'll show y'all niggas right here. Hold up. Let me type in at because I mentioned it inside this video. Atlantis. Yeah. Um, I mentioned the whole Anunnaki shit here because um you know, Anunnaki played a part inside of Atlantis and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mentioned this shit here. I definitely recommend this video to understand how Anunnaki came on the earth and quote unquote made humans and all this other shit because there's shit inside that video that's not often talked about either. So, yeah, I got all the sauce. With that being said, that's it for this video. Drop a like, drop a subscription if you're new, drop a comment if you thought the video was fired, some fire emojis, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I love you all. I'm gonna catch you in my next video. And peace out.